Final hour of the trading session as we head towards the close for a Thursday. Let's have a look at what is happening right now. Yeah, we went positive today and then some, especially for the NASDAQ, guys, up 0.5% right now. The S&P 0.1 to the upside. The Dow, the laggard today. We've had tech stocks bouncing back nicely. Not the case over the past couple of days, but a good look to end off on a Thursday. 0.5% here in Toronto to the downside. Crude oil still struggling, 2.5%. Off the lows from this morning, remember, 3.5% at one point today, and some positivity in crypto land. Let's get into the last hour of the day.
Yes, let's do that. And I'm going to start this off a little bit differently because I'm not in position in Tesla, but I just want to point out that Tesla, one of the weaker stocks on the day, bouncing back through 70. It's at 674. Why am I talking about this? The market's bouncing upside. Tesla's been weak all day. Because Lucas on our production crew is getting addicted to trading. He was trading in simulation and he was long at 671 on Tesla. Great entry point. He had like a wipeout bottom. Made a nice little bounce off of almost 666 on the march back to the upside. But part of the story has been the overall recovery in the market. Even Tesla, one of the weakest relative stocks that isn't the small cap, I should say, is even bouncing back here. So good call, Lucas. Sometimes you got to hold on to those. Although he did have to come here and do the show, so he really couldn't have.
Yeah, no. Paper money is paper money, but it's great to be able to start to practice and start to trade, right? So, I mean, that's what it's all about. Get part of this name and part of this game. I left you guys earlier at 11 o'clock, almost right as soon as we went off the air. We went long Microsoft, caught $1, then a big bump up in Softy as the futures turn hella green. And we get right there. That's a 292 up to 295.50. So we take that out, ring that register, and that was a great trade. And then it comes all the way back into this consolidation, and we take some more profit there. Unfortunately, we got out. I don't know what happened here, but I was trying to get out at 295, and for some reason I hit the stop order, and it triggered out right away. So I think that must have just been a keystroke error. But that's out there as we continue to rip to the high side right now, Microsoft. So look, we hit it there, then we hit it here for 50 cents, and we should still be long, but we did get out. So Microsoft win, 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 win. All we do is win. Short here as well, NEO. This is here, so good trading, short, and then covered right there. Should have covered at the very bottom, and that's all we've been doing, Microsoft and NEO, and we'll look to see a little bit more coming through here. Let's see, Ether now, wow, a nice move for Ethereum now, guys, up to 31.50, a nice bounce from 29, up nice $200 there. We'll see what that's going to do, and then, you know, I keep saying this over and over again, but look at Cardano, man. We are right back to basically all-time highs of $2.35 right now. ADA is ruling the roost right here. My last buy, as you guys know, wasn't even that long ago. July 21st. So right now, that's about a month, I guess a little bit less than a month ago, right here. Took that trade, so you get more than a double. You get, 140% there in a month on ADA. So I'm still not taking profits, but this is not a bad spot. If you are looking to do so, you may want to get some out on Cardano. I'm not, but we'll see what happens from here. Cardano to the moon.
And look, we always try to answer everything on the chat here. I'll be honest, people have talked about this DATS stock a couple of times here. I know that had a halt up, and then after it fell, this little flush, and I had missed out on it. I wasn't really watching DATS all that much. I've been trading mostly SON today, if you guys haven't been able to figure that one out. But this is a strong bounce back in and on volume. This is one thing we talked about. We're day trading, we're flat at the end of the day. So when we come in here for power hour, it's especially important that if you catch these movers or you're looking at a mover, there needs to be good relative volume. Of course, I'll do this. Oh, so you can actually see volume when we're on the full screen. That's always frustrating. There we go. Yeah, so you can see there actually was a bit of a volume spike on this last little push up, break through 460, but the lower high got put in just around that $5 mark. It's failed a couple of times there at that $5 range. If it were to test up here one more time, I'd probably be looking to fade off it, maybe give it a couple of pennies though. So DATS, it's slowed down a little bit, but that first spike off 460, or I guess second or third spike off 460, definitely a good one because it was on volume. So it's worth watching going into the end of the day. Now, I mentioned SON. I'm in it. This is actually a re-entry into this trade. We're shorting with impunity in front of $2 all morning, and then it decided to give us a bit of a gift. At about 2 o'clock here, guys, it bounced up right back into those mid 190s. I was able to grab 92s, and then we're right back down into the 160. So this one has been a bit of a dog all day long. It's hard to say it's been a dog when it's up 126%. When I say it's a dog, it's because every single time it pops, it has been a an absolutely fantastic shorting opportunity every single time. There was a barcoder at 180, which just allowed you to get a higher price on the short. Brendo?
Just reading a little bit on that DATS. Extremely small float on that one, to say the least, guys. 11 million shares on the free float, 65 million market cap. A lot of people talking online about some security software that they have a patent for, specifically for social media websites, things like that, for privacy and data security, things of that nature. So a little bit of chatter online for that DATS. I want to mention this one as well, Turtle Beach, HEAR. So this donor rail group ups its bid, all cash bid, to $36.50 from a prior $34.50. They said, nah, pass to that too. And that happened. So 7% here for Turtle Beach on pretty good volume here, guys, holding about 27 currently.
All right, so we took a shot right now. We'll go a little bearish on Softy as it just approached that 297 one more time. That's a quick 20 pennies there, 286 down to 268. So 18 pennies there on Softy and still trying to make moves. It just crashed down to 70 there off the short. So that was, crash. I know. But anyways, Microsoft, that didn't crash. But there it is. We're shorting against 297 right now, which is a brand new all-time high. Let's hit the confetti now. I think Microsoft probably after this ramped up to my #1 holding there in the long-term account. But right now we'll go short. We'll just see if it breaks above, and then we'll see what happens after that point. But there we go. We just take, and why do we take out half right here? Because if we're going to lose, we're short at 86, right? So a breakthrough 97s, 14, 15, 16, let's call it 20 pennies with some slippage there. So that's that 20 pennies on half the trade. And now we'll see, now we're basically playing with house money on the way back down. So let's see if we can't do that. We're a hella bull on Microsoft, but when we're seeing levels like that, we'll take that. That's the high, all-time highs now, 297. I mean, every print up is a new all-time high. So we'll see if it wants to make it. See there, right back in. So let's see if it takes out that 297. Right now we're cruising with Microsoft short 86s right now. As you can see it on the board. Yep.
Yes, sir. And a stock that is not at its all-time highs, and you know what? It's not going out on a limb to say this. And probably not going to see any all-time highs in the near future, at least not this year. That's for darn sure. Apologies for Krispy Kreme here, but yeah, it actually is up 15% on the day. That's not a great-looking chart since it came back to market, but hey, you're going to cash post-earnings a 15% bounce to the upside. I know it's attempting to break out at 15. I see people talking about it. 15 break, 15 break. Look, that looks fantastic if you'll indulge me to slide over to the 1-minute chart here. Yeah, this looks pretty good. Look, nice little, not parabolic, but gradual move up. You get some decent retracements. You're coiling in here. You get this break once, twice, 3, 5 times it's gone up and down through 15. But, we just showed, I was just trying to show you the 15-minute chart. Yeah, that looks pretty good. This is 1480 or so, which is previous resistance in that break there. Then still choppy, 15, there's 1525, there's 1540. Here's probably a bigger level at 16. There's a lot of chop up here. There's a reason why it's coiling up, because there's going to be people taking profit in this range. If this fails to get through the quarter mark in the next 10 to 15 minutes, I'd be looking to the short side of this trade for a bit of a pullback. While it's doing low volume, I probably won't touch it, guys. I might as well just stay away from that one. What is moving and doing volume, though, is Robinhood. And just before we came back on, or maybe not just before we came back on, at about 2 o'clock, there was a breakdown at 45. I just scalped that into 44.50, if only because 44.50 was this level, this bottom in the pre-market here, this breakout in the pre-market. So when I saw the 45 break, I figured it was only going to be a 50-cent move. When 50 broke, I got in, and then the second, it immediately retraced. So I'm like, yeah, you know what? I don't want to be caught in a failed break at the bottom when the market was reversing back to the upside. Well, Robinhood went all the way down to 44 and then reclaimed that 44.50 level. It's now put in this. This is 44.85 here. So looking for a bit of a break back to the upside, 44.85 on Hood. It was a couple of decent shorts earlier in the day, but I think there's a chance. If it can get through that 85, even just a VWAP, I think is a good risk to reward there. Hopefully the volume can pick up as well. Brendo, what you got?
Just watching DoorDash popped up on a volume scanner there, guys. Worth noting it was down today because of this, it would appear anyways. SoftBank, one of their largest stakeholders, selling 11.4 million shares. Just broke through that last little resistance level from midday, though, 180.50 down. Yeah, almost 6% for DoorDash today.
Yeah, I saw that about DoorDash there today. I wasn't sure what to do actually when I saw that news, but DoorDash down there off SoftBank selling. So there we go. So we got, like we thought, a little bit there. We'll flush down that Microsoft short, but now we go long, and now we're back 10 pennies in the money. So free trade, now we're back long, and it's 10 cents in the money. We're still thinking that we could take out higher highs here and go on softy. So let's just hopefully keep that band rolling to the high side, 297.50 or so, a good out, but now we're 14 cents in the money the other way. So kind of a wash trade, and then we have this one now to go to the upside. So 297.05, we're long right now on Microsoft, and that looks like it wants to go. We also traded Apple today as well. Same long here. I mean, it's crazy because these wicks are here. It makes the chart look like we're not taking these wins. But long there, that was actually out real fast, 38 to 45. I don't even know what happened there. And then we hold the rest. And then there's that dollar win right there on Apple. So a nice little move up there on Apple, $1 on that name. And again, busting up higher, back to 147 already here in a hurry goes Apple. So as long as the NASDAQ keeps rocking and rolling, we may have seen temporary bottoms maybe on Apple. Palantir, like out today, great outs, almost out at the top. And all of a sudden, this thing just kept falling. I know Kathy Wood was on CNBC there, and I'm not sure like what she said or anything like that, because honestly, didn't pay attention. We were on the show, but it looks like since about 12 o'clock or so, Palantir has been falling. So anything back down to 24 is a great long. You guys know that already, but Palantir right now for the win today. If you went long near the bottom there, 24.25. Let's see if it retests.
John Forrest, Sona through 1060. That's not too bad. Now I've been watching this one pretty much all morning long, and all day long, but I have not traded it since this stop out here. And look, you follow your rules, and I said on the live show, I go, if this breaks, when I had that short here at 11:39, that if it broke 11:51, I was going to take it out and then hunt for a short around that 12:50 mark. So I did get stopped out. It goes all the way down to 8:50. But look at the barcoding here, and the volume's actually kept up. It crossed the 100 million mark pretty easily. Yeah, I mean, 1060 looks pretty good. I'd probably look at like a 65, just because if you look at that last flush down, like it did wick up here past that 60 mark, give it a little room through VWAP there, but the risk reward could be solid, especially if you get a pretty good volume spike on SNOA. Just know, for me, if I'm taking a trade through here, let's say it breaks in the next like 5-10 minutes, you're probably wanting to take some out, at least I would as a day trader, some out in front of that 11 mark, some out in front of that 20 mark, definitely some out in front of this 1140 mark, which hilariously enough, 1140, like this top right here is exactly the price I was shorting in that consolidation, because that's always how things work apparently. But all three of those levels, I would be getting some out on a 1060 break, and I would give it to probably like 1065, but certainly should be on the radar. Up 90%, but the story has been the deep retracement that it made, and I had every chance to hold on to that short and did not, unfortunately. But we'll take that break if it gets there. Lucas, your Tesla would still be $4 in the money if you still had it, so good look on that one, buddy. And I was going to say D's nuts. Donut. Krispy Kreme, I should be saying here, still failing to follow through on that 15 break. So it's really starting to set up. If it doesn't really go here, it can't seem to get past 15.10. If it starts retracing, I might just take a breakdown at 14.90. At some point, you got to give up the ghost. A lot of people would be taking 15 breaks. A lot of people would have been buying some of these dips here. And then as they get a little bit more antsy, there could be a pullback into VWAP, which is what I'm looking for. And the risk reward is going to get better and better the tighter range it makes up at this top.
Yeah, Microsoft only went to 297.30 there, and should have taken 25 cents. So now we're going to sit there and see if we can get it. But again, it's not a huge position. We're not putting on big positions here at the close, guys. So just understand that. What's up, Brendan?
Just looking at some cannabis names, guys. I wanted to mention Tilray first off. 3.5% to the downside. You can see a big spike came in here. Trying to break back to the upside for Tilray, still down 3.5%. Just reading this article, though, apparently they're struggling for support, shareholder support, to approve additional shares being added to fund this acquisition of the MedMen. Remember, we were talking about that going back a couple of days ago. So there was supposed to be a shareholder vote today on that. Apparently that has been postponed because they're looking for additional thumbs up votes for this deal to go through. So Tilray under pressure again today.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm not a major shareholder, so I don't know if my shares will matter there, but I give it a thumbs up for that one.
You gave thumbs up?
And we'll just see. Yeah, we gave that a thumbs up. So we'll see what's going on there with Tilray.
Oh, come on.
What was that?
You gotta be kidding.
I don't know what just happened there. We're going to wait for...
SNOA, you piece of... I was going to say something else there. So, I mean, it was looking very fantastic through 1065. I'm like, yeah, we're up at 11. And then kaplunk, right down. It bounced off $10. So I'm like, okay, well, there's a bit of a buyer at $10. I'll join that guy, see if we can get back to like a 1040 level, and then just place a stop back in below like 995. But that was dirty. That was absolutely filthy. If you guys were watching that stock, that was complete filth because you get the break, goes right into that cluster. I just said, remember, like 11 and then up at like 10, 1120 and then last ditch at 1140. Well, it didn't even get there. It goes to that 90 level. It then tries to break the 11, goes to 1107. I didn't get enough out. I got only a third out. Pops back down in here. Now, there's all kinds of cluster support at $10, which helps you with that trade. But it can't even break back up into the 35-40 range. Like, if it can't get there, this could turn into one heck of a short for the rest of the day. But SNOA continues to be whippy, whippy, whippy.
Okay, so we got out at 297, and now, of course, Microsoft decides to now rip up again. Like, I mean, it's back and forth here for me on Microsoft. Like, that should have... Oh man, like these stop orders for me are just triggering here, and they shouldn't be. Back to the upside. Microsoft now going. There's that 30 cents that we talked about, but it does break 297, so we get out. But it just these are basically all wash, man. Short and out, and then long and out. So that there's nothing happening there. I'm going to look at something else here now. NEO, I really think this is a down move here. If the market does collapse, NEO's going to fall even further than this. So we will wait. We shorted here and covered here. Now we're going to do the same thing again. If we can break below this. 3670. I think that's worth a short right now on NIO. 3670 coming through. If we can break that, then we will go short NIO. I do like that play. So hopefully we'll be able to hit that soon. And then here it comes. I mean, it shouldn't be that long now. We'll hit that to the short side NIO. Maybe not. I mean, it keeps resisting these levels. So that's good, though. If it breaks it, then we know we may have something. This time, though, I do want to cover a little more. I mean, last time we were short up here in 90s, and it goes all the way down to 35. That's 60 cents. If we get that kind of a move on NIO, I think we take it, guys. So right now, we are coming to the downside right here. Hopefully, we'll get into that short and then see what's happening from there. Microsoft still above. What's Apple doing for 196 and change? What's Robinhood up to right now? So Robinhood, I mean, I got to make sure I don't have any stop orders. So Robinhood today, a positive stock for me. We're positive on everything today. So I mean, you can see at the bottom, but nicely out. We did get that trade right there when it came right back into these levels again. So, I mean, how many times we got to see this 46.30 level? Here, all over here, and then here again, and now it's coming back down to the downside. So we did get out once it did break 45 off of this long, so small hit, but still, there it is to the downside now. Robinhood trying to bounce off that 44, and we're into a new trade right now. So we'll roll the dice here with NIO to the short side. Short now 68. So we'll see if NEO can come to the downside now.
I am definitely not looking any SNOA gift horses in the mouth, right? Like, let's be honest about this. When it breaks, and we get a break like that of a level where, you know, a lot of people might have liked the jam long, especially on the volume spike. And this volume spike, by the way, like most of that was the red candle to the downside. Like, if it's going to give the gift of, well, let's just pop right down into the most obvious support ever, allow you to buy in front of it, and then give you VWAP out, I'm taking it. I'm gone. Like, forget about it. If it wants to make another further run, if it wants to go to 11 now, forget you, Sona. SNOA, it's obviously not Sona. If it's popped back into the upside, I'm looking to fade it. Forget this. If I see a candle like that, this gets back towards 11. I'm fading off that 1140 area. That's the way to go for me. So SNOA, fine. SONN. Did somebody just say SONN get to $2? If it had gotten to $2, I promise you, and based on what history has said today, if it gets anywhere close to $2, I've been shorting it. It just got to 170 and another flush. And this has been the absolute, well, almost the absolute bottom on this thing. I don't know what the heck, man. I didn't get any more. But anyways, it's been the bottom. Like, I haven't had a single fill that was better than 151. Ever since it held 145 in the pre-market, every single low has been 151. Here I could get out. Here I could get at 158. Here I could get a bunch out 58. And the best here was 54. It just dipped down again into that same price. And why does this all matter? And I've said this probably a gajillion times today, and I'll repeat it over and over again. Look back to this cluster before this thing broke down into penny stock status. This set for 2 months between 45 and 75 And then that's been a pretty actionable range all session long on SONN, especially off the bottom. It can't seem to break any lower than that. I'm still holding on to some of these, but it's at the point now where I'll just get out here. I'm getting it all out at 155 because it just seems to not want to break any lower than this. If it pops, I want to be shorting it into 2 all day long, but this has been my whiz stock for the day. My best stock for the day, where I've been the whiz, I guess is the way you should probably say it. But SONN falling off a cliff there. And SNOA, that was a good out at 50. It feels like that stock just only wants to go down. That was a hell of a failed breakout. You don't want to get caught in a trap like that. The amount of selling there might tell me something about what they plan to do with this thing into the last hour of the day, and maybe even after the close. Because you remember, if you guys watched what happened to that VRPX or whatever in the aftermarket yesterday, this red candle there makes you think that SNOA could be doing something very similar.
So we're going to watch Tilray here, if my charts will flip over there. Tilray.NQ, there we go. So good news there. Well, not good news, but news from Brendan that they're discussing this deal here with MedMen, so we can see where it goes here. But just looking at today's chart, 1260, down 4%. I told everyone, I'm not buying Tilray. I'm already long Tilray because of the Afria deal. I actually never bought actual Tilray shares before, but when they bought out and merged with Afria there, we did get something. So 1280 is the bottom now, and we're right at there. So, this is getting ready to break lower, guys, here on the daily chart, and you're going to see this 1265, when that breaks, then we are pretty low. So for me on Tilray, I feel bad for anybody there holding the bag, but you gotta wait. This is such a funny industry because Tilray will move like hard. And forget about this. This is meme central, but Tilray will move real hard, like 10, 20, 30%. When there's earnings or when there's some sort of a news catalyst behind it. But then, other than that, man, it just drips. Like there's way more red days than there are green days here on this daily chart. I think, anyways. Here no, but in the last 6 months, 8 months, it's just been bleeding to the downside and keeps hitting some of these lows. So just be very, very careful if you are looking to trade some Tilray. I just saw that on the chat. And then what about another dupe right here with Fisker? I bought small, what's fine, but we bought on that Morgan Stanley upgrade there when it went to 16. I think it was 17 or so, and then we went to 19 that day. Look at Fisker dripping down as well right now. Like Morgan Stanley, thanks a lot, bud, but your $40 price target doesn't seem like that's quite accurate right now. But what's up, Brendo?
It's funny you bring that up. Lordstown, I just noticed all-time lows, guys, just broke $5 today to the downside. Open Door, however, not the case, just broke $15 to the upside on the volume spike. So nice day for Open Door. Wanted to show you that one, and then one other one as well while we're here. SONN from this morning, just breaking on huge volume back to the southbound side as well, guys.
And DATS making power moves to I don't know if this qualifies as a power move, but why not? We'll call it power moves to the upside on DATS. So DAPS to DATS or anyone holding on to this. Now I said if it gets through this level, like that 5 even area, I'll probably be looking to fade. This is a heck of a reversal off of 535 there, guys, that it put in. And my 15 doesn't want to go back. Whatever. If it gets up to like that 520 mark, I want to be on the south side of it. I just found out that we have to pay 0.3 cents a share for locates on DATS, so essentially free. It might as well be free, but we'll see there. And of course, as you showed on SONN there, Brennan. Yeah, I get out because I'm like, it hasn't been able to break that low, and then it finally breaks the low. The only point of the day where I'm not short SONN is literally as it breaks the low of the day. So that's how it rolls. I've been sitting in this thing all day long, and then of course Robinhood. I was looking for it. I did play some shorts, good short, and then basically flat. I was looking to play if it could hold that low at 44 and then break back out here at 44.84, 44.85, I should say. I was going to go long. If it breaks the low and makes a fresh low here, I'll throw that out the window. I'll cancel my stop order. I only wanted this if it had held the bottom and broke back up. So as long as it does not or fails to hold that low, I don't want any part of it. Back to SNOA. Yeah, that one's still barcoding down here. I will not get trapped into a breakout long on this name. It could go, look, I'd let it run $12, but after the experience of what just happened with the last one, I was able to walk away from that last trade positive, but really there was a little bit of luck in there, being able to find quick resistance and catching the bounce. Because the original long, it never really came back to that 65 level, guys. Like you could have got flats if you're really fast. Otherwise, you had to really buy that dip, which is a bit of a Hail Mary, really.
So I've noticed here that, especially in the afternoon, pigs get slaughtered more and more. So we're going to take out 11 cents right here on NIO. So we took out took out half. They're at 56. So then now we can wait. Now let's wait to see where NIO wants to go from here. But I just took out half there. We're short 68. We got 56s actually. So 12-cent win there on NIO, and just bringing that to your attention because I did take out a half in case you guys were interested in what was happening on that play. Yes, XOM, man, those puts be working right now. XOM down more, 50, 52.70 right here. So that's working out for us on that call where we thought that was being overdone to the upside. And we thought it was going overdone to the upside, so that's why we put a put on. Okay, NVIDIA did make a nice move up. No trades on this one for me today, but we did talk about this a little bit, and it was kind of like this. I mean, this was the funny thing here. So yesterday we went down here to 187 or so and sort of stopped at 185. This is on the report yesterday afternoon, right? Then you gap up here to 195, and then it retraces right back in at about 940. Remember, the market was cracking, so I'm not going to sit here and be like, hey, that was like an obvious play or anything. The market was cracking to the downside. There was a lot of good pickups at that time, and you're going to see Microsoft, a whole bunch that I had, but we do miss that NVIDIA pick, but right there at 940, it comes back into where it was yesterday, right? So yesterday off the open, and then it just rips up. I mean, how much is that? 180. I mean, let's just say you have 190, like what I wrote on the sticky note. So 190 up to 205, so $15 straight upside right there. So again, you got to watch out. And again, this is going to be my last little bit. I only have 35 more minutes till it's vacay time for me. But on that note, watch out for that next week, guys. If you get something like this where you get a nice name that we like in NVIDIA, gaps down, build some kind of a bottom, if you're able to take that long off there, you might as well try that because the market is funny right now. Like, it was down pretty good early on. I mean, we can zoom back out here, and it's just climb. This is the open. It didn't come down that much, I guess. It touched the 50 period and then comes all the way, man, back to 15,000, which we're at right now. So don't ever count your chickens before they hatch because you could have some monster winners on your hand. Just try to hold a little bit. That's what I've been doing better, and I think that's improved my game a lot.
Exactly, and it's always about improving your game. It doesn't matter how long you've been trading. They say that whole nonsense about an old dog can't learn new tricks. Well, I don't actually know if that's true. I don't own a dog. Maybe someone can tell me. But it's never too late to learn new tricks or hone your strategies. Now, I was just typing in the chat that Clover was weird. It spiked off the low here, broke to the upside, and then just immediately started barcoding at 762, which is obviously a random price. If only, well, maybe not, because this is what it was holding pretty much throughout the morning. First here at 10:45, and then lastly, well, not lastly, but again at 11:40 before spiking up a little bit, and then failing through that same price. So if it's going to barcode, it just broke up and came back in. I want to give it a little bit of room here, so probably up until VWAP. But I'll take a shot at Clover, down 5%, trying to get off the schneid. But the volume absolutely dried up. You had one volume spike to get it off of the bottom, and then it's done absolutely nothing right into previous support that it failed. So, I'm going to short that almost every single day. You even have the high off of that bounce, which sits here just above VWAP 775. So could have a couple of shots at this one here. And that Krispy Kreme, it is still, now it got to 15.25, but guess what? It didn't really break 15.25, so it's still the slowest breakout of all time. Brendo?
CLEU, which is China Liberal Education Holdings, so one of those little tiny Chinese online education companies, 8.9, free float, guys. Tiny, CLEU just popping up here on volume, trying to get to 3 by the end of the day, it looks like.
Yeah, at the end of the day. The end of the day is almost here, guys. We have imbalances coming out at 350, and that's about it. So other than that, we'll wait to see where these imbalances want to come through. But just have to cancel an order there. Okay, so we are going to wait to see now what happens here. Someone asked, do I own Dogecoin? Yeah, I own a little bit of Dogecoin, but not much. I mean, that's one where I just can't really wrap my head around that one too much there, Dogecoin, and where the value is going to come from that other than just people wanting to buy Dogecoin because it's kind of cool. But where is Dogecoin right now? I didn't even look where that is. Hold on a second. We can check this out here. ADA, and I just have to change this to DOGE, because I believe Dogecoin's on Kraken
31?
Exchange. Is it 31? Okay, so I mean, obviously I'm in the money. I won't tell people where I'm long Dogecoin. That's also pretty embarrassing, but we'll see here. Yeah, 31. Yeah, so 31 says Dogecoin not doing too bad, guys. This is a daily chart. I don't know why someone asked about that. Oh, yeah, I guess a nice move from 30 to 31. Yeah, okay, but whatever. That's not a huge one. I don't know, man. I'm not going to tell people how to trade crypto because I just kind of wait for key levels and then just try to go on it. I don't hold that much crypto. We talked about it being, 5-10% or so of your portfolio. And then obviously in this recent bump up, it's overtaken that a little bit. But at the same time, a stock like, it's funny that I'm on Microsoft right now, but like a stock like a Microsoft or something like that, I own infinite, you just heard, 90 times or whatever, 9 times, sorry, the amount in equity than I do in crypto. So I am much more concerned about that. Crypto's still relatively new, guys, relatively new for its infancy right now, crypto. So, get some of those locked and loaded if you're not involved in some of those names. I've been giving them to you on the show, some crypto that I like. So hopefully you guys can figure that out and trade with me on ADA and Ethereum and things like that. Okay, NEO how low did NEO go there? I don't think it went that low, did it? No, so it didn't even break 50. So the market trying to hold up here. I think if it does crack, we have a lot lower to go here. I don't have any offers right now, or any bids, sorry, on NIO. We'll just see if it takes out the top, we'll get out. But for right now, I'm holding the short and I like it into this. Let's see if we can do something on NIO.
And I've seen a couple of times someone asking about ALF. I traded it earlier on in the session, but look, there's not an actionable trade here for me. Look at this thing just on no volume, right at this retracement low. Now, I know it started moving on the 17th, but that pullback was right in here to 883. There was a cluster here to 850. It essentially barely just broke that level now. It's just sitting on the bottom. There's no momentum for me to take a short, and there's just no way that I'd be a buyer. Apologies. There's just no way that I'd be a buyer either off of these levels here. It doesn't make any sense. There's no momentum. There's not a lot of volume. There's no big buyers that I can see on level 2. There's no catalyst to buy off of that low, and it just feels like it could flush very slowly, or at least not have any catalyst there. Now, I know I had a couple of trades here short in the pre-market. It bottomed out here at 10, and then I caught a breakout trade that was pretty good, but that failed at the pre-market high, and then I kind of got away from it. I should have. Usually what should happen here is if I make this trade, like it breaks out that opening range after the short is worked and I've reversed into the long, when it fails at the pre-market high, I know I should be doing this, but I was trading SNOA and SONN, and those are halt stocks, right? So like the stocks that are halting and going crazy, that's where the focus is going to be. Like there's no way I'm going to catch a reverse here when I'm trying to focus on those other two, but that's a great setup. That failed breakout, well, it's a good breakout, that fails to get through the pre-market high. You can then short right away, you can short down back through 11 if you're fast enough. Otherwise, you're just looking for the next consolidation and then maybe give it to that 11 mark. Certainly once it breaks VWAP and then you're back below that opening range break price, which was about 1060. Once you get back below here on this flush, you can then short in front of it, also in front of VWAP. But when you get at the bottom like this, volume dead. I don't even need to pull this up to show you there is no volume going on here at this bottom. So you can say that it's holding the bottom, but not a lot to like, especially when you go to the higher time frame on ALF. So I can't really say too much good about this one, unfortunately, guys. And Nick Dubs.
What up, Nick Dubs?
I always say Nick Dubs, Nick W. Thank you for the super chat. I'll look at TVTX in a minute, in a second here, guys. But I haven't watched that stock all day long, so I want to make sure I can pull it up and give you my thoughts.
Okay, good one. And we also have NEO now that is trying to make moves here. So this is 21 cents in the money. We've been holding this all day. So not all day, all show. So we'll wait to see if that's coming through here. NEO's been a good trade for me today. We're positive on everything, so it's been a good one for sure. Microsoft looks like we just should have held these bottoms here. Like that was a great pickup right there. And then for some reason we got out for flat there, and then it rips up. And we just did couple dances here recently on NIO. So we got to, on Microsoft. So we got to watch out where that's going to be going from here as well. So that's a little bit of a concern for me. What's happening now on what's happening in the market as the market continues to go up, and of course that's going to be a full effect for my NEO trade. If the market just went down, then I think we would have a decent win rate here on that one, guys. guys. So right now, that's not really working out for me. But we'll have to wait to see what happens here on NEO, I think, moving forward.
And Nick Dubs, I'm calling you Nick Dubs, like we're old friends, but it kind of feels like that's what you guys are in the chat all the time. I've seen you before, and thank you for the super chats, of course. It's not about that. It's about all learning together. And here's first things first. You already said you like the trial results. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I understand anything about when it comes to these trial results that you're talking about. So I can talk about the chart, and you're concerned about the gap. Yeah, like I can absolutely see why you might be concerned here about the gap, but you look at it from this standpoint. I don't know where you're long. Like maybe you have this off of 15, maybe you bought it at like $18. I'm not really sure, but once you're in a position, I mean, your price matters to your own risk tolerance, but at the end of the day, the market doesn't give a rat's ass whether you own it at $18, whether you own it at $14. It's where it's going to go from here. And this essentially popped right into what you might expect to be the first stall, which would be right here at that 21, which is a kind of obvious level. You would love to have seen it continue. It's a multi-day rally. You'd love to have seen that rally continue and at least test up into this level at 23, where you got to know there's bag holders as well. But holding, if it goes in here, then it can at least hold a 20 on the way back. If this were to roll over, I mean, you're probably not, your best case, you're holding to 18, and then maybe it's not even holding back to a 16. So yeah, there's a good reason to be concerned for that gap up. Here's where at least the positive thing I could say is, this is not doing any volume today. It is consolidating for 2 days in a row on low volume without rolling back over. That's usually a pretty good sign. Like if I had been looking at this stock after parabolic move up, another push to the upside and hold here, like if I had been someone looking to be short at this 20 to 20 half level, and then you come in, it's like it held it up again, I'd be saying, look, it has to actually break 1950. I don't want to short off these highs anymore. I needed to test the actual 21.5. So, the fact that it's at least holding up above that 1950, pretty good sign for you there, but that is a monster gap to be filled if it broke. So, I mean, if you are long at 15 or if you're long down here at 17, is it horrible to take profit out? No one ever went broke taking some profit. I mean, certainly the catalyst has come and the volume is dried up. It's never a bad idea. If you're caught at the top, just make sure that you have a bit of a stop. I don't think you want to give up the entire gap. Most people probably wouldn't want to take that big of a hit. Yeah, no. And I mean, that's the thing. And we always talk about making sure that you have your out before you're actually in your position. I mean, I think that's important. I mean, it doesn't have to be before you're in your position, but, at least at some point, have some kind of an out on all these names, right? So that's good talk there for sure. Okay, so let's just move on now and try to see what else we're trying to do here. Microsoft still moving. Tilray Fisker. Oh, Tilray's breaking that level, man. That bottom right now as we speak. So that could be something. Well, not really. I thought it was. It's getting close, actually. 60-60, here it comes. So this bottom 65. I think it's worth a short here if Tilray does break through 65. And then we'll just watch to see because it's giving up that ghost. Now, I don't know much about that story other than what Brendan mentioned to us, but we'll see if Tilray wants to give that up right now. We'll put an offer to go short if it does come through. So what I do now is just use stop orders, right? So conditional orders, so that I don't even have to be watching this stock. So if it does go down and break these lows, I do like it. You see Tilray here, it's just been a horrible trade. So again, not a good one for anybody that's been trading Tilray and been holding this long, but we are back into this area. And then even if you just go to like a 5-minute chart, you'll see what we talked about yesterday. Was it yesterday was the acreage holdings? Or sorry, MedMen, I believe it was yesterday. Yeah, so you get that. Looks like it was yesterday. Yeah, you get this huge pump up in the morning to 1430, and we started fading those plays, right? So, and then it comes now rocking all the way back down to the bottom, and now we'll have to wait to see where it goes. But that was big. As soon as we broke these levels today, you saw a nice consolidation here early. We should have been looking at this, and then consolidating off these levels, and it's like that NVIDIA trade. That's a great short. Yeah, exactly. It's like that NVIDIA trade that we talked about, where we went back a day, found some levels, and there's another one right here. So Tilray, ding, 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 right here, 1340, 1350, were great shorts, consolidated, and then snapped. And then once you broke, I guess it's basically 1315 or so, but that's right there, right to the downside. I'm just looking at it. I mean, yeah, that's a gorgeous looking short setup, right? So this is the thing. Even if you don't get, even if you didn't trade it, you should always be looking at the setups that were there that fit your patterns. Now, there's a line from Jean-Luc Picard. I'm not going to yell it out, but it's something along the lines of, this far, no farther. The line must be drawn here. Right. Right? And look, I drew a couple of lines on Alibaba like $50 ago. Yeah. So I'm it is what it is, man. I'm now buying this bad boy all the way down to 130. But I will say this. I'm actually, this is weird to say because every single time this has come up, I always talked about the valuation relative to Amazon. So it's going to be weird to say that I actually would put this into the category of like, I'm not even considering this like, like your long-term fundamental. This is more of a shot play. Like, I actually just want to be buying this one into that 130 level on the off chances if you get any kind of positive headwinds when it comes to relations with the U.S. and China, or any back off, any withdrawal with what you're seeing out of the party there, then this stock could be back at like 240, 250 in an absolute hurry. So it just comes to a point where, it looks too enticing down here. I said 130 was, whatever, we'd probably never get there. And then 170 would be the start zone of that area to get long. And yeah, I'm going to go for it. So Alibaba, do your worst.
Yep.
It's already starting today.
You may not want to tell it to do its worst.
Yeah, that's probably about it. You should never really taunt the stock. It's probably not going to help you. But I will say this, that SNOA, and I'm not I'm not going to sit here and say it was the most disciplined in the world thing to do on SNOA, to have caught this bounce here at 10.10 and then work the rest of the trade out to turn this into a winning trade. It was probably I'm watching the level too, so I saw someone when it broke 10, I saw a buyer step in and immediately retake that level. So I bought in front of it and then essentially was putting a stop in front of that wick down. The wick went to 980. I put my stop at 995 below that 10 level and then just let it ride back into VWAP to turn that a bad trade into a good one. But after that, I said, no longs on this stock for me for the rest of the day. As a matter of fact, I will short any pop. After seeing price action like that, there is no chance in hell you'd ever see me take a long position. I won't even buy it off the bottom after the nastiness that it just had at 1060. So little things like this are always important. That is a failed jailbreak that late in the day on the stock, which you've been consolidating and setting up for a secondary run. I will usually tell you guys over and over again on one of these gap run plays, if it holds, if you look at 7 o'clock and then again at 8 o'clock, if it holds these dip levels, because this is 835 and this one down here 760, if these get held after it already makes a parabolic retracement, held, and then now it's trying to hold it there, usually that's pretty good for a test of the high for the rest of the day. I've seen that work 8 times out of 10, probably going back into the start of this year. And then after that nasty move, there was no chance I thought it was going to happen. Now it's retesting these lows. I wouldn't touch it. If it falls like a rock, and maybe there's a rubber band play at 750, I would take it on that range. And the one that I did get into, Clover, which I said was looking weird, yeah, it's just an absolutely nothing. It's kind of creeping up into VWAP. I haven't added to it. Unless it bounces off of VWAP, I probably would. But yeah, back down to 760. So this was barcoding. I got in, it tried to break out, did nothing, and is now right back into 760. If this flushes through 760, I kind of feel like it should be right back down at these lows. Running out of time for that to happen because it's already 342.
I know, it's unbelievable how fast this is going, guys, actually. Okay, so right to the downside there. We can celebrate a little bit here as we do have our friend here, Neo, going to the downside right now. Not Neo starting to go to the downside here. So yeah, every time that happens to us. As right now it's going to the downside. So I don't really have, again, just to see how I'm trading this, and it's just going to be very, very simple. I'm going to take a break out to the upside. If it hits 36.50, we'll take it out. So we'll make sure we capture 18 pennies. But I am thinking that, look at the NASDAQ coming to the downside here. So we do have, all we've been doing is short. We long this, out. That's no problem. We tried another long and out, and now we're just short. No, we didn't try another long. That was an out. And then now we'll try here short. So short, and now we're getting back in. So hopefully we're down now. We're not hopefully. We are right now in the money. 32 pennies. So it's a nice one there. Someone want to talk about context logic, so let's do that. There was some super chats. There's never, in our opinion, we don't ever try to avoid super chats or anything like that. So thank you for that. We just do get rambling on sometimes, and we don't talk about them. So
I do.
Oh, you know what? That was a 5-minute chart actually on Neo. That's why it didn't look that crazy there. So let's go back quickly here to NIO before I do Wish, just to see one more time. Yeah, so there it is. So these are the shorts and these are the outs, and there's the new one. So there, okay, so that makes more sense to me. All right, so now Wish, context logic. So, oh man, I just threw out, because I cleaned up the desk, but I threw out some sticky notes. I don't remember ever writing long ever for this, only because, again, it was one of those meme stocks. We do know their website, and the problem with Wish, really, guys, is just that it's part of a bunch of different names that have recently IPO'd that don't have much profit or anything like that. They're getting absolutely woodshedded right now. And Wish is just one of those names where again, recently to market, and then since then, it's just been getting crushed. We bounced off this 50 period a little bit. Do I like it for a swing play? No, not really. I mean, I worry that people are selling these worse names, and sorry if you take offense to it, but like they're selling some of these names off I believe, to buy higher quality names. That's why you're seeing stuff like Microsoft and Apple and all that continue to go to the upside, right? Google, like names like that. But anyways, to me, if you get this back to like 7 or 8, I think that's fantastic. I can't really give you any levels of support because we're at the all-time low right now and it just keeps on cracking. So to me, anywhere in this consolidation is a decent out. If you're lucky enough to get above this, which is 850, then I definitely think into this teeth of 9 to 8 is definitely something that you're going to want to talk about there and getting out. So, I mean, to me, wish. You know, if you've averaged in now, maybe you might want to try. I don't know how much you guys have in it. I don't think it's going to 0 or anything like that. But again, I mean, maybe it is. So just be careful. Yeah, exactly. Just be careful with everything. And I would say that for me, a good out, and I think it's possible, you bounce back to $8.50, $9. So whether or not you want to get your average price to $8.50 or $9, that may save you. But for right now, I don't want to catch a falling sword. And really, that's all that wish is. So, you know, I wish I had more levels for you, but ultimately, there isn't any. I just think if you get back to 8.50, you're doing pretty good. So, hey, from here, that's 30% higher. So if you can get that, then that's great. But I feel bad. I don't know. I feel bad for myself. I mean, there's some stocks like XL Fleet. I just talked about Fisker as well. I mean, where's the bottom going to come?
I've held bags before, man. I held a bag in Virgin Galactic. Like, I had longs last year at like 27s and then decided to like not get it all out. When it made that ridiculous double up. And then, like, it's weird because when it was going back to the downside, like, part of me knew, it's like, give me a break. Like, you allow it to go to the teens. There's no reason to hang on to it. But because it was a small part of the position, you end up doing it anyways. And then you get lucky that they had that publicity stunt that allows you to get more out. But, you know, you just never turn a swing, a day trade into a swing, never turn a swing into an investment. And then once you're in that bag, just ask yourself what you would do if you were flat. That's the best thing you can always do. Like, sometimes what's done is done and you have to move on. I finally, and this is a little bit late, and it's actually 3:46, so maybe it wasn't worth taking this breakdown. But remember, you know, Krispy Kreme continued to try to break that out. It was the slowest breakout of all time at 15. It finally came back below. Like, it made a bit of a high here in the high teens, so like 15, 13 on the future break. Then it failed at 30s. Then it went right back into that cluster and finally broke one of these support levels. So, I mean, that's a long way of saying that I was short at 12 when it broke that 13 and immediately starting to come into the downside. Now, I don't really have a choice but to scalp this out. So I'll sit here on the bid at 15 and see, sorry, not 15, at 14.95, see if I can get some of this out. If it wants to flush any further, fine. I don't expect Krispy Kreme to have an imbalance or anything like that. You know, maybe I should step this up.
Yeah, it's coming. It's only 3
minutes. Why be
minutes.
at 95 when you can be at 96, right? Like, I make this mistake all the time. Why would you ever sit at like a round number? Sit in front of the obvious number by 1 penny. That makes a heck of a lot more sense as a day trader. So, I mean, obviously I just got 96s out and it's at 92, so I could have actually gotten an extra set, but who cares? I was waiting for this to actually roll over. I wanted the momentum to come down after what was such a ridiculously slow break. And then remember, the other part of this too, like why someone was saying it's a 15 break, and the first thing it is, look at your 15-minute chart and tell me what's so great about breaking 15 right into this quarter and then 35 level there, right? So what ends up happening when it breaks? It just does nothing slowly into the quarter and then into the 35, and then it rolls back over, and then people go short like me, and then it goes right down here. And look, it might even continue this upward trend. You can still make money on the short trade without breaking the uptrend. Like if this doesn't fail through 1470, it's still in an uptrend. But the pullback is enough for day traders to make money, and that's why it keeps slowing down at these levels, because everyone went to the higher time frame and saw where the resistance was going to be, and then Krispy Kreme slowed up. On the long term, I mean, I know it's up 14%, but yeah, I don't know, man. Like, just go back and look what happened to this company the last time that they were public, and I just kind of feel the same way now about it that I did then, and it didn't work out then.
Right. So yeah, I mean, they had a good report. Not really, but we'll see what Krispy Kreme is going to do later on. But that's a good trade. We'll see about it for now. I'm just looking at NEO here, making sure, okay, 51s, making sure that we have the right imbalance out here for that. We are now 30 cents in the money. The imbalances are coming very, very soon. And by soon, I mean like pronto. They're coming in a minute right now. 350, the NYSE imbalances come out. So let's see where we can go from there on those. And we'll be right back and we'll see where it goes, because right now NEO nicely 40 cents in the money. And alert, 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 we did finally get our Tilray shares going there. So now we have Tilray to the short side, but it's not doing anything. So it does break that bottom. And again, you know, patience is not a virtue that I possess too well, but at the same time, you know, right now it is the end of the day, so we're taking a little bit of a risk here, seeing if we can't get a little bit of movement here on TLRY back down to the downside. So we'll see if that can kick it.
Sean, you and Brendan are going to love this one.
Yeah, what's that?
This comes from Sterling Silver.
Sure.
Some of you guys are talking in the chat here. I know Forerunner, Sterling, you guys are fantastic and longtime viewers of the show. Sterling says, I have no diamond hands, just golfing hands.
Right.
That's what it's all about. Last time I checked, golfing was expensive, so you're gonna get paid if you want to go to the links. I don't, because I have a horrible back, but I love that. I mean, forget about the diamond hands. Worry about the golf hands. Get yourself. I'm assuming that means be disciplined.
I'm not really sure. I don't know what golf hands means. Maybe Sterling Silver can.
I mean, steady. You need steady hands. When I used to golf,
hands.
my problem was no one told me that you should wear gloves. So like I always had like my grip wasn't good enough. So
Right.
Club head would move around too much. But you're supposed to wear gloves. So I used to wear my batting gloves, and I got a lot better.
Steady hands. Maybe that is
Steady
a good
hands,
one.
right?
I don't mind that there, Sterling. What's up, Brendan?
If Sterling knows where to find golfing hands, I'd be very interested in getting some of those. Earnings, guys. Nothing terribly exciting, but a few noteworthy names on here for tomorrow. So aftermarket tonight or before the open tomorrow.
Yeah, so I mean, just really, I mean, we can have a quick look here at Foot Locker quickly. FL on the NYSE. I mean, that's going to be the biggest one for me, I think, coming through there. You saw the damage that we did today on on KSS and on Macy's. I mean, so I'm expecting something good here from Foot Locker. We're not really barcoding or anything like that on the daily chart. We actually have fallen down a little bit from 65 down to 54. I think Foot Locker will probably beat. I mean, if there's anything about the retail spot, I mean, look at KSS today, guys. If you're just joining us, oh, don't tell me it's not gonna, oh no, this is the daily, okay, good. Here it is. So look at it, we have the lowest tick possible here on KSS today, $50.70 or so, and it ripped up to 56, and we did take out $4 on that trade, so that was a good one. And then Macy's as well today. I mean, these buys on Macy's, I cannot believe it went to $22. I mean, that's crazy, but we were buying 19s there all the way to the upside, and our best out there, 20.38, 20.40. So that's another $1.50 on Macy's, and now it's kind of doing not much. So if we're going to take sort of a cue from any of these retail names that happened today, I think Foot Locker is going to make a lot of sense. And just quickly here,
I feel a lot better about AMAT tomorrow after what happened with Nvidia and price action today. Honestly, like when we first came in and sat down, I was thinking to myself, oh man, AMAT, I'm looking to add on dips. I'm not necessarily even sure that's going to happen, but that FLGC, Flora Growth, that's reporting, yeah, that stock got absolutely shellacked after a nice little parabolic move. Interestingly enough, could be falling into some support at $7. That could get very, very interesting if there's a snapback capitulation bottom on FLGC. Like if they have any kind of a kind of a surprise to the upside, it's got some room to run, obviously.
Right. So I was just checking out the imbalances. That doesn't seem to be too much here for that, right? So, okay, so now we're coming back down to the downside. So you're seeing here Intel's a big sell today, I guess. Intel's down to 52 right now. Come on. Okay, Intel's getting crushed. Macy's with a bid. I'm just trying to find out if anything's moving here. Watch out on the side here. You'll see the imbalance locator. There's Intel. So let's see. Yeah, so there it is, right? 350, it comes out, so 52.50. Now it's down to 52.30. So that's really the biggest name on here. There's not much else. I mean, Cisco, BAC. I mean, BAC, I don't even watch that. And then Cisco's not doing anything. So really not that much. There's Cisco, so just got paired off a little bit there. Dropbox, where was Softy was on there? There it is. So, wow, 296.50, still a nice little mark there, but Microsoft not doing much. So the imbalance locator today, a little bit of a snooze fest. We still have 40 cents in the money on NEO. Maybe we just take that out.
Yeah, we'll hit that one. always take your profits. That's not to say, Sean, take your profit on Neo, but I took some more profit on Krispy Kreme. I almost want to say D's nuts, but 1485. I'm actually sitting at 1475, so not very creative on the outs here. It's literally like once it got past that level here through 15, it's like every round 5 number, like 95. We got out in front of 85 and then 75. So that's what we're trying to do. Is about 5 minutes left to go. Just a little bit more than that. I can tell you that Clover is not doing anything. So it started the rollover, then immediately stopped at 755. I mean, look, it's been barcoding most of the day. I thought it had a good chance. Like I said, if it broke to the downside, we'd be getting back into the lows. That obviously hasn't happened, and we're running out of time for that to continue. I also was pretty convinced that Robinhood was going to do something at the close. Well, it didn't do anything either. So, I mean, I should have probably just held on to the original short I had before we came back on air. I didn't, so it is what it is. This is a lot of action for a stock down 10% or 11% after it reported. The good news, I suppose, would be that 44 has held pretty well. And remember, that reference range of 30, the original price range they wanted to open up at 38 to 42, that was a good level on the way up. It still has a chance to hold that for the rest of the week, despite getting woodshedded on their earnings, post their earnings.
Yeah, Kathy woodshedded. Okay, so we're getting out right now at 66. It'll be a small little...
She's still in the money.
2-cent hit or so on Tilray there as we're out now. Well, we've got part filled there, so we still have a little bit of shares there. On Tilray, just need another print here at 66. I have very, very small shares, but I have an odd number left, so we'll see how that goes. But right now, there goes Neo. It was 40 cents in the money. It is coming back to the upside, so we should probably punch out of this one. Again, another good trade here. Short 70, in the money 30 cents. So, you know, we already took it out for 12 or 15, 16 cents there at 50, and now we're coming back to the downside again. We'll just see. We did hold out that 36.25 spot. Not much to talk about. We have to be flat. And again, thank you for joining us today. Neil and I have to be flat at the end of every single day, right? So that's what we're going to do right now, work this trade out. And there goes Neil back to the upside. So probably worth just taking that out. We did take out our Tilray. So really uneventful here on the close. Here comes Neil back to the downside. Let's just put a bid. There we go. We get that fill. So that's a nice trade, man. We'll hit the siren for that one. That looks like it will be 32 cents there or so on that, according to the P&L. So that's going to be a good one, as maybe now it fades back in, but whatever. We took that. The best that we could have had was 30 or so. So we'll take out a 37. Not bad. Leave a little bit of money on the table, but not much to end the day. Only 4 minutes left, guys. I don't know if you're having that. Oh, some people asking me where to buy Cardano. Like, honestly, I showed you Kraken has it, Coinbase has it.
Yeah, Coinbase got it. Like, that was a good spike.
Yeah, Robinhood, probably SoFi. I mean, I don't know what apps you guys use, but Cardano's, I think, the 3rd or 4th largest crypto. So
third, I think.
You know.
Well, it has to be over $2. I'm pretty sure it is. I'm like 87% sure that it's third. So not 99.9. And good. I just talked a lot about Alibaba and was talking about getting into it, and then you guys are pointing out here, and usually I'm all over this kind of a thing. Yeah, 320 top. Like it's literally been cut in half as of today. I didn't even notice that was the fact, but that's just another reason. Like it's a 50% retracement today. And down that 7%, and then it started getting into these levels where you have to go all the way back. I mean, like 2000, that 130 I talked about, that's like 2019. That's what we talked about for the 130. So it's been a while for Alibaba, and like you just said, like you guys were pointing out rightfully so in the chat, 50% retracement, and that just goes all the way back into like October of last year. So it's been a crazy ride. I just think the upside could be there. I had to get out of Clover. I mean, it was only 5 cents for the last trade, but we have to be flat at the end of the day. Stick around at 4 o'clock, and it'll be the last one for a while. So Sean's gonna be doing the trade of the day, but he's getting some much-deserved vacation, spend some time with the family, go up to a cottage, you know, have a little bit of fun, because you have to enjoy the finer things in life. And of course, Arun is going to be with us. Filling in. He does a fantastic job. Of course, trading the futures, good time for it, because the futures are actually moving the last few days.
Yeah, they're not doing too bad there. Yeah, the last couple of days, we'll be roughly flat here. Here's Cardano. Yeah, so it's Cardano and Binance Coin right now battling back and forth. It's only $75 billion in valuation, which you're going to say, oh, only, but I like Square is like 120 billion, and you're just going to wait to see. But oh wow, 240 right now. Cardano going nuts. I don't know if it's you guys buying this up or not, but right now it's up 16%, 239. Like, look what I'm talking about, man. It's overextending all of these coins. The other one that I have, of course, that I talk about all the time is Matic, which is Polygon. I don't know where that is as well, but I mean, I'm into most of these anyways. So there we go. Ripple's a nice one that I'm in on as well. I remember buying that at 30 cents, guys. It's now $1.20. We bought that on some of those. What was it, the SEC or someone was investigating Ripple, and I guess that didn't go that far. And then so now that's all the way back and a good trade there. But yeah, guys, just be safe, trade well, and I'll be back in 6 days. It should be good with Arun. Obviously, you guys know him. He'll be in the building for a bit. So thank you for continuing to watch. Hopefully Memes and Movers can come back next week. We are working very, very hard on getting that back for you. But so far, so good here. Thank you for watching. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. And it's only a minute left. And Miss V's already, there she is, already back there getting ready to go.
I think she was talking some smack to, I don't know if it was Trader Prad or Greg, but there was something going on back there behind me. And don't take any nonsense from those tools, those fools, Miss V. You give them what's what. I'm kidding, Prad. But sometimes she has to check you. Sometimes he's a habitual line stepper, right? Like Prad will just, and he has to get checked every now and then. We have a lot of fun around here. Again, of course, we all wish on a fantastic and safe journey and a good time. But we are getting into the close. The market did get green, and there is green on Miss V's dress, although you can't see it in that shot. Dropping the countdown. Let's ring that bell in
5
5,
seconds.
4. There's a little bit of green there. 3, 2, and 1. Ring it.
All right. As it keeps on hammering that bell. So thank you, Ms. V. It looks like everything was positive. Let's go find out from Brendan.
Yeah, we'll have a look, guys. We did, this may need to refresh here for a second, but we did get back to positive territory early on in the afternoon. So we'll have a look here to see if I can't refresh my page. We might not be able to. I may have lost connection here, guys, but unfortunately, looks like the Dow did end lower ever so slightly, but both the NASDAQ and the S&P positive to end the day. I don't know why I lost connection there.
I can see the Dow down. I mean, I was looking at some of the names I was watching. Not necessarily Dow components, but I mean, a lot of the material names were pulling back. So I would imagine, I didn't look at CAT today.
It was. I just called the DIA. Oh, there we go. Yeah.
It was a little delayed, but there we go. Yeah, so just 0.13 to the downside for the Dow. But yeah, everything else not bad. 2% for crude. We'll see what happens tomorrow there. Sean, you were talking about cryptos. Yeah, 5% for Bitcoin as well.
Come on, Bitcoin, what's your problem? I mean, can't you keep up with Cardano? But yeah, Bitcoin, Ethereum, look, they're all going to go, you know, what do they say? Higher tides raise all ships. So hopefully the crypto space can get going on that one. And yeah, I want to give a big thank you to Lucas over there and Rob. Thank you for running the ones and twos. There he is. Yeah, take a bow, my friend.
You can step into the shot, Maggie. Everybody already knows you. You can. Maggie's here as well, by the way.
Yeah, well, she's here now. I mean, she's been hard at work all afternoon. So what's up to Maggie? Didn't mean to forget about you. And thank you to Ms. V. Thank you to everybody. I'll be back in a couple of days. Thank you for all the well wishes. And it'll be Neil and Arun here battling tomorrow. So hopefully the market will be kind to them.
Never battle.
But for all of us, there's Brendan, Valeria, Neil, myself. Have a good one, and we'll see you tomorrow. Trader TV Live. See ya.